going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the RAD cast. I'm Andrew Dimalanta. My friends call me Rogue Leader.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta, and my friends. Everybody calls me Dimmy.
Everybody. So I have no idea what we're talking about. We said we'd do a RAD, so we're doing a RAD.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's plenty of things to talk about.
there's plenty of stuff to talk about. I mean, celebration's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun, but we've been doing that on our other show. So we don't need to talk about celebration.
True.
Yeah.
I know. May's just
It is a really busy month for us. Mm.
Lots of crap going on. Got family visiting.
Yeah, we finally get to meet our nephew.
Family that we haven't seen since the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be, I don't know, since like before 2020.
Yeah.
We've seen both of your brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of our, yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a long time. But it'll be fun. And then,
yeah,
like you said, celebration for a week. Then,
yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah, it's going to be a busy
It's going to be, yeah. And like, I just got like an email from like my part-time videography gig with that marketing agency. It's like, hey, we want to shoot next week. And it's like, oh, that's the only week I'm available, my man. we can't shoot the week after. And then they've been really flexible with me. I'm so glad. And they actually listen to this podcast, I think.
Hello.
So, hello. Be careful what you say.
Hello.
I love working. I think we've actually talked about it too. Like, I love working with this company because you like how organized they are.
Oh my God. It's such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like, hey, we're going to have a shoot on this day and we think it'll take this long. And then you know what?
It takes that long.
That's exactly how fucking long it takes.
Yeah. We stick to the schedule.
If not early.
Yeah. Because I think these past couple of shoots, we've wrapped an hour early because we're so efficient. And a teleprompter actually helps because we wrote in, we were ahead of schedule and we decided to shoot a couple extra things. So we maybe wrapped like 30 minutes early because the client was like, hey, can we try this? Like, we have an hour of time. Sure. Well, let's try it.
A dream.
Yeah. It's not like my other clients. Some of my other clients who will remain nameless.
Imagine being organized.
Yeah.
Just imagine. Well, all right. On that topic, jobs.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Since you went in that direction.
Did we already talk about jobs before on this show? I think we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we already talked about how we were in childcare for a couple of years.
Did we?
Yeah, I think that was already an episode.
I don't remember that.
Job pet peeves.
How about just pet peeves in general?
Okay.
Or, yeah, you can do job pet peeves. It'll probably just turn into everything. But yeah.
Well, because we touched on it in last Beyond of what like my 2 top pet peeves for videography is.
True. Okay, I got one. If we're talking about jobs. Pet peeves. Okay, so I recently made the switch from an in-office, if you will, job to getting a new position that is fully work from home.
Yeah,
which is remote. Like, a whole new world. So amazing.
Yeah.
So like, I know that on like my last week at my job, don't get me wrong, I didn't leave because I hated it.
It's just they had a better opportunity for you.
It's just, how could I pass up a promotion and I get to work from home?
Yeah.
And I'm doing the same job, basically.
Can see this lovely face in front of you every single day.
Hell yeah. But like, how could I pass it up? So it's not like I left because I was like, man, fuck this place. No, it wasn't that at all. It was just, it was pros very much outweigh the cons.
Yeah.
And people have been like, even before I started, they were like, but what are you going to have a hard time adjusting to working from home? Fuck no. Are you kidding me?
I mean, even with that last job, when the pandemic hit, you were remote for most of the week.
Yeah. When everything was like,
yeah, in full swing. Like
full swing pandemic was just like hot and heavy, Yeah,
Speaking
we were
of hot and heavy. Sorry, can you turn the fan on?
Oh, Christmas. But yeah, we were doing working from home a lot when everything was like really hairy, you know. So I was like, no, I really don't think that was like one of the interview questions. When they interviewed me for this position, they were like, "Are you gonna have a hard time adjusting?"
Yeah.
Like, I almost like laughed at the question, like, "Is this a real question?" I'm like, no, I'm not gonna have a hard time. This is a lot of the reason why I applied.
Because I want to work from home.
But like, if I'm gonna talk about things that, okay, wait, no, I'm getting off track. My last week, they were like, we had a potluck. They had a potluck for me, and it was awkward because being the center of attention is weird.
Yeah.
Especially at work. And like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like when you're at a restaurant and people sing happy birthday to you. And it's like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my...
Yeah.
Like, I'm so fucking awkward right now. And so whatever. They had a potluck. It was really nice of them. They didn't have to do that, but they did. And at one point they were like, so what are you going to miss the most? And I'm like, think fast.
You guys.
That was my answer. And I meant it. Yeah. But I was like, probably, the interactions with you guys, because we've been working together for, however many years, and you build a rapport with people.
Yeah.
And I meant it. I wasn't lying. I wasn't talking
interaction
out of my
with
ass.
people on a daily basis, you kind of take it for granted sometimes.
You do. However, if we're talking about things that I'm not going to miss, work pet. Well, I mean, I guess, I don't know if it's a work pet peeve. It's just like things that I'm like, don't miss that. Like, when I was at work in the office, depending on your position, you have your days when you have days where you are just remarkably busier than other days, and other days where it's just status quo and you're just doing your normal stuff.
Yeah.
And it always seems like whenever you're like really getting into something and you're like, oh, maybe I have a deadline, or maybe it's just it's a tedious work, or you really got to put a lot of focus into it. That's when fucking this guy from accounting walks by my desk and he's like, and there is nobody from accounting that came to my desk, so I'm not like saying anybody that's a real person. Yeah. But like, this D-bag over here stops at my desk right when I'm trying to do something, and he's like, what'd you do this weekend? And I'm like, I don't want to do this right now. And you're like trapped, because I didn't have, and in this last position, I didn't have an office. I was in a desk out in the open, which was not my cup of tea. I missed having an office to myself. But like, you're trapped, and they come and they stand at your desk and they just talk at you. And I'm like, I don't like making small talk when I don't feel like making small talk. Yeah. Especially when I'm trying to get stuff done. Small talk is cool sometimes. Yeah. But if I'm trying to get something done, like the end of my day is 4:00 p.m. Eastern.
For us East Coast people. That's the time Nicki gets off work. That's when you message her.
4:00. And it was always 3:50 when somebody would come to my desk and be like, tell me your life's history. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get a report done. I'm trying to do this and that. That's one thing I definitely don't miss. Yeah. Like, I do not miss that at all. But I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to talk to people, but I also don't miss the commute.
Yeah, that's saving on gas.
I don't.
That's something I really hated, because like, how intensive, like, attention and intensive my job has to be sometimes, where it's like I have to focus on this.
It's really tedious sometimes.
Yeah, it's really tedious. I would always hate when I was an in-house videographer for this other company, and somebody would just come up and start talking to me, and then they inevitably look at what I'm working at. It's like, oh, is that the thing that we taped last week? And it's like, oh, let me see it. It's like,
show me this, show me that.
It's like, you'll see it when it hits the internet. It's not, it's like,
because people want to see themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
People are inherently kind of slightly narcissistic.
Then there's this other person that would come up and wouldn't say a word to me and just look over my shoulder. I was like, I can't work with this. And I try my best to ignore it. And then, or I would try to slightly like nod at them or something, or start a conversation to get them to leave.
You fucking need something?
Yeah. It's like, you need anything? Like, go away. I hate, that's like, it's like, how much work I have to put into this, so go away.
Do they though? They don't.
No, and that's another thing that's one of my top pet peeves about my job. What I do for a living is people don't fully understand not what I do, but how much goes into what I do. Yeah. They're just like, yeah, just put this together. It's like, no, like,
just slap it together.
I think my number one pet peeve is when anything that follows the sentence "just do." Yeah. Just do this. You can just do this, right? It's like, no, I can't. I can't just do that.
You can just put this effect in there.
Yeah. Oh, see that cloud, you can remove it. I'm like, yeah, I can easily remove that cloud, but we didn't plan for that. And it adds so much more to the workload. And that sentence you just said, just do this, takes at least 5 more hours of work that I'm not allocated to do, because I have other things I got to attend to. I plan to work on this video for this much. This amount of time this week. Then the rest of my week is spent on this other client or with this other company that I work with. And the more time I spend on one project, I got to take away. That happened to me this past week. Like we talked about on Beyond, it's like, I have to, no, this video is due tomorrow.
hey, add this thing
add
right
this
now.
thing to it. It's like, we already talked about this. I can't do that right now because it's due tomorrow. And the more you keep adding, the longer it's going to take and it's not going to get done on time. So stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, I mean, there are pros and cons to being fully work from home as opposed to fully in the office or even being a hybrid.
Yeah.
Half and half or whatever. I think the pros outweigh the cons.
Yeah. I think another thing about like remote work is communication. You really have to communicate.
You got to be really intentional.
You have to be really intentional. And because like before, if you're an in-house or if you work in an office, you can call somebody. You can walk up to their desk or their office. It's like, hey, I need this done. I need that done. Hey, that cut really wasn't working. Can we rework it this way? When I'm 100% remote, I've been that way for the past like 2-3 years. Close to 4 years now.
Yeah, I was going to say, if not more.
Yeah, close to 4 years. I've been working from home 100% of the time. And a lot of my communication is either through a messaging app or through email.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like waiting on feedback from a client and they haven't gotten me back in 3 days. And it's like, hey, the video's due in the next 2 days. You haven't gotten back to me. Is that cut good?
Yeah.
Or is it bad?
That's one downside.
So it really,
It's a double-edged sword because like, you're at the mercy of somebody answering you. But also, like I said before, it's a double-edged sword. Because if it's like, hey, I need this, it's really easy to pop your head out of an office and be like, hey, what?
Popping your head always makes me think of that one Easter, the one, what's his name? He's just wildcatting. What?
Oh, Matt Bronger.
Yeah, Matt Bronger. It's like, what do you say?
Don't worry about her. She just walked
He pops his, what is it?
His big Easter Island head. God, what a reference. Yeah. Watch Matt Bronger, Big Dumb Animal. Very funny stand-up. I think it's on Amazon.
It's either on Amazon or ComedyCentral.com.
He was describing this one like
police officer
when he was like in New Orleans, and I guess he just had a big head, and he said that he was called to a bar for like somebody causing a disturbance.
Yeah.
And he said that he popped his big old Easter Island head in the door. It was like, what's going on here?
Is this a problem?
Oh, don't mind her. She just walked in. But see, that's the double-edged sword is that when you can just pop your big old Easter Island head out of your office and go, hey, Andrew, can you change this and tweak that? It's great. It's convenient. And it gets things done quicker sometimes. But at the same time, when it is that easy to pop your head out of your office, it's like, stop interrupting me. I'm trying to work.
Yeah.
Or when somebody who comes up to you and they're not a part of whatever you're working on. And they're like, hey, can you do this? And it's like, I'm doing this right now. And you're making it so I can't do it. Like.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's one thing I do like working remotely is like the client isn't right there constantly like cooks in the kitchen, too many cooks in the kitchen. And like they're constantly like, the more available you are to somebody, the more changes they're going to make.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like sometimes you'll do one thing with those clients that are always like hands-on, like show me a cut every 5 hours or something like that. Or something like every day, show me a cut so I know where you're at. And then they make changes to it. And like say like, oh, there's this one thing that's in there. So can you remove that thing? It's like, all right, I'll move this up so many pixels or whatever. And then it gets so far away from the original cut. It's like, can you try doing this? And it's the exact thing you sent the first cut on.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And it's like
we just went backwards.
Backwards. What are we doing? So that's I think that's a good advantage of like not having somebody over your shoulder constantly like, do this, do that, do this, do that.
Yeah. So. Well, for me, no, yeah, that's true. Because for me, because we work in two very different fields, but like, I would be at my desk trying to do stuff and I'd be like, in the middle of something, and somebody else be like, hey, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do that? And it's like, yeah, for the 5th time? You want me to show you how to do it for the 5th fucking time? Yeah, sure. Let me stop what I'm doing so I can do your job for you. And not everybody. There was always those coworkers that it was like no matter how many times you showed them, it was just easier for them to ask you. That gets obnoxious. That doesn't happen so much when you're not physically able to just walk over to somebody and be like, hey, do my job.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, it is easier when you're trying to get something done, especially by a deadline. It's like, hey, Andrew, can you do this? You know? So, it just depends on your point of view. I know that there are certain people that love working from home, Exhibit A. Yeah. And I know there's other people there were other people that I talked to that they were like, are you sure about this? Are you going to?
Well, I know why, because sometimes it's easily to get distracted when you're at home.
It is. And that's why it is somewhat of an adjustment, because you have to make sure that you don't get distracted. Because, especially when you got a kid running around or something, and or your spouses work from home too. Yeah, it's really easy to get distracted. But
Oh, yeah.
And
that sweet piece of tail walking around the house.
yeah, I know you get distracted and walking around in my fucking sweatpants all day. Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me twice. I know. My dirty ass hair thrown up into a bun. Yeah, I know. But no, I like it. And there were other people that were like, "Are you sure about this? I don't know. I think I'd go crazy if I was at home all the time, herped derp." And it's like, okay, well then, leave the house after work. If you're going stir crazy, do something on the weekend. Everybody's got different personalities. Some people are built for it. Some people are not. And some people are like, "Oh, I don't know. I just like the human interaction and blah blah blah." And it's like, it's not like you guys are my best friends.
Yeah, we have a group of friends, and we talk to them regularly. We see them on video almost every weekend because we game with them every weekend.
Well, that was one of my, that was one of the things when I first started at this organization that I'm with. When I first started, when I was a volunteer, I was a student. I wasn't even paid. And they were like getting ready to hire me. They were like, "Hey, what are you doing after school, baby? We want to hire you." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah." And when they were getting ready to hire me, one of the girls, that was like kind of one of my supervisors at the time, one of the first things she told me when I was getting ready to be brought on was, I forget how she started it. She was like, "You got friends outside of here, right?" And I'm like, "Of course I do." She goes, "Okay, well, you're good. You're not here to make friends. Don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about eating with people. You can eat by yourself. You're not here to if you got friends on the outside, don't worry about the people here." And I was like, well, that's kind of aggressive. But, after a couple of years, I was like, she was spot on.
I remember those first couple of years.
Oh,
I was like, oh God. Boy.
First couple, talk about first several. It got worse.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm not there in that department anymore. But like, oh my God, I was that person who, before I had my own office, literally eating in my car every single day.
Yeah.
Not because it was like, nobody likes me. It was like, I don't like any of you. And I just want to be alone for a little bit.
Trifling ass people.
I don't need everybody on my ass. Like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" The more up your coworkers' ass, I mean, it depends on the culture of your environment.
Yeah.
But the culture where I worked had the culture of high school. And everybody got so far up each other's butts, so far up each other's business that it became like, you'd walk a couple doors down and you'd be like, "Psst, psst, psst. Did you hear about, Did you hear about
Gossip
this?
City.
Did you hear about she's dating this guy?" And then it's like, I fucking graduated high school
over 2 decades ago.
A long time ago. I thought I was done with this. Like, we're all adults here. But I mean, granted, I left that.
Yeah.
But there are some workspaces where that's not an issue at all, and everybody is actually pretty cool.
I'm actually really hoping that the market agency that I work for part-time, because when I first started working with them, they're like, "Yeah, we all pretty much work remote." There was somebody that was working with them that lived in Houston. No, not Houston, Colorado. So when we had meetings, she was like it was dark. I was like, oh boy.
Oh, true.
So we had meetings early in the morning, like virtual meetings. So we're all over the place. They're based out where we live, but like when I first came on, I was like, "Yeah, we know we work remote, but we try to get together every once in a while, have like,
in person,
and like do like bowling nights or dinners and stuff like that." I'm like,
you haven't done that yet, have you?
No, I think the pandemic has really halted that, but very recently when I did a full day shoot with them, we had lunch and I was like, "God, I would really love to, like, if they ever do have like a dinner or something." I was like, yeah. I'll tell because I love working for this company. Yeah. Because I think I've told this story before. Like I got hired to edit part-time for another marketing agency that was based out of another state. Oh, they were such a young, like, starter up type of business. And they weren't nearly as organized as this one because this one that I'm working for right now has been in existence for like 15 years. They have so many lists of clients. This one was like, they had no idea what they were doing. They were only in business for like 2 to 3 years. Didn't really know what went into my job.
Green.
They were very green. It's like, "Hey, we need this video done. All right, what do you need done? We need this, and this, and that." It's like, "Bro, that's gonna take a week." It's like, "You can't get it done tomorrow." It's like, no, I can't get it done tomorrow. I was like, well, let's do tomorrow. It's like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Going back to the thing where people don't understand how much work goes into it.
So I like
how time intensive it can be.
After a week of that, it's like, if this is going to be the workload, I don't think I'm not the right guy for you.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, no, I can't. I have other clients I got to pay attention to.
Well,
I have so
there's a lot of people out there that they, you know, I'm speaking in very general terms, not about any one person or group.
Yeah.
But like, there's some people that favor quantity over quality. And I know that you are one of those people that I think you would rather put out one really good product than 20 pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's been pretty much my entire videography career. It was actually on my website at one point. It's like, some people will tell you that they can get so many videos done. I'd rather give you one really good thing you can use over and over again than pump out a million crappy things that will only live online for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's what a lot of this new company that I've been working with deals with. It's like, we want to build a brand. And that's what all marketing is really. It's just building up a brand so it can live for a long time. I've done a couple of videos with them and clients love it. So I was like, that's great. I want to be a part of that environment. So yeah, it's just weird how some companies will understand and then others will just be like, yeah, just do this. No, that phrase I absolutely hate. Just do. It's like, you can't just do.
It's crazy. I think that, I mean, I feel like you would probably feel the same way regardless of the times.
Yeah.
But I feel like the pandemic has absolutely changed people's mindsets of work and just life in general.
Yeah.
Because like pre-pandemic, I know we've been talking a lot about like in-house versus remote. And disclaimer, I'm happy and lucky and #blessed to even have a job, you know? I know it sounds like we're complaining about like, go to the office, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Lucky to even have gainful
a
employment,
job,
you know? So nothing like that. But I feel like this pandemic has really blown the doors open on work-life balance.
Yeah.
Because prior to the pandemic, my career, it just sounds weird. Feels like I'm.
Well, no, you've been in this working with where you've been working for more than what?
That's all 13 years.
13, yeah, over a decade. So yeah, it's your career.
No, sorry, not 13 years. I was thinking of something else. No, I started in 2013, so it's like 8 years or whatever.
Yeah, so almost a decade. Yeah,
but yeah, it's been a while. But when I started in this field, in this career, I was 100% clinical. You can't do that from home. You know, I mean, now there's telehealth type of appointments, but whatever.
Yeah, but there's certain things you have to be there.
But was part of a direct and indirect patient care, so there was no way to do that remote, and also pre-pandemic. But like, working in that field was I never knew the virtual world because I never considered it. I always knew I wanted to be involved in medicine somehow. And then a year or two before the pandemic hit, I moved out of that department into a different department where I wasn't clinical anymore at all. It was completely administrative. And then the pandemic hit like a year or two later. And then we started working virtually a lot. And I don't like, I'd never even considered virtual work. I figured that would just never, I just never considered
an opportunity.
Yeah, I just never considered it because it just never seemed like it would fit in line with what I was doing. But then I got the chance to do it, even just 3 to 4 days a week, which is a lot out of a 5-day work week.
Yeah.
But like, then after, I don't know, a year and a half or so, it was just kind of, hey, come back.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like I knew the day was coming.
Yeah.
Obviously I knew the day was coming.
Gotcha, bitch.
It just happened kind of abruptly one day. And it was like, hey, by the way, you got like 1 more week and then you got to come back in. And you couldn't really complain because you knew that was the agreement. But it was like, I don't know, man, my throat's kind of itchy. But like,
oh God, my temperature.
Yeah. It's kind of, got the fever sweats. But like, no, yeah, they brought us back in full time with the opportunity to work from home should you ever need it, whatever.
Yeah.
But the stark contrast of going from being able to work from home a lot to being back in the office full time when I know that what I do has the capability to be able to work from home with little to no productivity interruption. If anything, it makes you more productive, I think, in ways.
You can get ahead of schedule,
Yeah, you got nobody coming to your desk talking to you about whatever,
Hey, man, oil prices are crazy.
Man. Stocks are crazy, man. But it just, that stark contrast was kind of like, oh. And one of my coworkers described it as like somebody, you've been eating, this food for so long and you don't realize there's anything better, and then somebody gives you this like really fancy steak dinner.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
you're
a
like,
great
wow,
analogy.
this is really good. And then they just whip it out from under you and give you a bowl of cat food. And like, here, eat this. And it's like, no, but that steak was really good, and I never knew how good it was. I never had it before.
Yeah.
And since I got to a taste of that work from home life, I was like, it made me realize, and I can only imagine that this is on a large scale, when people were forced to be at home, nothing but time to think about stuff in life. Like, it just made me realize, driving to work every day, sitting at my desk, driving home, I was like, wow, I don't get to see you, our daughter. Like, it feels like it felt like a grind going back. Again, disclaimer, very lucky to be gainfully employed. Even if I did have to go into work 5 days a week, you do what you got to fucking do.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have found this opportunity in this position that I'm in right now. But like, the contrast is what I'm talking about. Like, I got to wake up however much earlier to get ready for work.
Yeah.
Got to get dressed.
Got to put your makeup on.
Well, stop doing that. I stopped doing that once masks became a thing. The slow progression of the pandemic and my makeup. And I know I'm not the only one, because before the pandemic, makeup every day. So people aren't like, man, what's wrong with you? But like,
you look sickly.
You look tired. And like, fuck you. This is my face. But yeah, I'd put makeup on every day. I'd even do eyeshadow at one point. Whoa. Like, what? Why? And then the pandemic hit, and it was like, hey, you got to wear a mask everywhere. And for a little bit, I would still be putting on makeup, and I was like, ew, this feels yucky. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, the mask,
no one's I can't take it off anyway. No one's going to see it. So what I started doing, which I know a lot of other people did, I started only doing like top of cheeks up makeup.
Yeah.
Weird story when I take the mask off, but like, yeah, top of mask down, nothing.
Yeah.
Top of cheeks up, put some makeup on.
Yeah.
And then one day I woke up a little late for whatever reason. And I was like, I don't know. God, I don't even have time to put on my half face makeup. I guess this is what they're getting at work today. And I did it. Nothing happened. Nobody told me I looked like I was dying. And I was like, damn, I only had to wake up like 10 minutes before I had to leave. And that was how my no makeup journey started. But wait, how did that start?
Difference between at home and...
Oh yeah. So like, yeah, waking up however much early. I mean, and add on extra time if you choose to put on makeup.
Yeah.
But like,
and then the
you
drive
gotta
back.
wake up. You gotta get ready. If my kid wakes up and she sees me leaving, then she like, Mommy, I'm gonna miss you. And that sucks because it just makes you sad. And then you gotta drive to work, make that commute. Then I gotta sit at my desk for 8 hours. Do something that I'm fully aware that I can do at home because I did it for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then when that's done, I got to leave. I got to drive home. If I hit traffic, if I hit weather. And then by the time I get home, it's like, okay, got home, changed into my happy clothes, got to make dinner. We sit down, we eat dinner, got to clean up dinner, clean up the kitchen. And then it's like, sit around for a little bit, do whatever. Got to put the kid in the bath. I got to put the kid to bed.
Yeah.
And then by the time all that's done, it's kind of like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to take a shower and get in bed and just do it all over again tomorrow. And it was like, I felt like I had no time. It just felt like a grind.
Yeah.
After seeing the other side. And now that the pandemic has made a virtual environment so much more widespread and common, it's like, why wouldn't I be looking for that? So, and I feel like that's probably a common feeling for a lot of people. A lot of people I see now are like, I don't have the ambition I don't need to be CEO of the company. I don't need to be constantly climbing the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I'm lazy. Doesn't mean that I'm not ambitious.
You just want to be happy.
It just means, because another thing somebody said one time, they were like, oh, what's your dream job? And someone's like, I don't necessarily have a dream job. I don't live to work.
Yeah.
My dream is not to work. I mean, the dream is to, I mean, we all have to work unless you're fucking Paris Hilton and you're born into money.
Yeah.
We all have to work. So yes, it would be a dream to be able to do something you love.
Yeah.
How many people is that a reality for?
It's hard. I mean, I'm like you said, being lucky to do something that you love. I'm lucky enough to be able to work from home, do something that I'm
right.
I enjoy doing, two, that I think I'm pretty good at.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's, you know, like I said, #blessed.
Yeah.
But like what I'm doing, not my dream job, not even close. That's definitely not. If I had my dream job, it wouldn't even feel like work.
Yeah.
You know? So
we have talked about this. What, like, if you can go back and do it all again, tell young, like, little Nicki, like, get into this line of business because I think you would love it. Are we talking top-notch dream job, or are we talking realistic? Something realistic, something that you know that you would be good at.
Okay.
And something that you can make a career out of. And like you said, you would love doing it. Like, because I really enjoy doing what I do for work. There are headaches about it, dealing with like this and that. But like, I don't see me doing anything else but what I'm doing.
Well, I always think that I was always interested in the medical field. And I always told my mom from a very young age, I want to wear scrubs to work. Yeah. I did that for several years. And it was great. Like wearing pajamas. It was great. I loved wearing scrubs. Yeah. So I told her that for the longest time. So like I knew I always wanted to get involved in something medical. And I think that that's personally, I think that that's a very smart career because depending on what part. Because I mean, whoever thought we were going to live through a global pandemic? There are a lot of professions that went out of business, went out of work because it wasn't deemed essential. Yeah. You know, and medicine, if you're not getting into something crazy specialized, it's kind of like elective kind of thing, not necessarily quote unquote needed. If you're just going into straight medicine, that's always going to be around.
You're going to always have sick people.
Exactly.
Sick people.
You go into, you know, primary care, people are always going to need primary care. You go into dentistry, people are always going to need, you know, work on their teeth. And if they don't have teeth, they're going to need you for dentures or something along those lines.
They always get you.
You can't escape them, even if you think you can.
I ain't got no teeth. I don't need a dentist. Like,
you get into, and even if you do get into specialized fields, like, you know, even things like optometry, blah, blah, blah. People are always going to have eye. Well, I mean, sometimes people don't, but a lot of times people do. So, you know, things like that, they're always going to be around, even in the midst of the global pandemic that we have experienced and are still kind of experiencing. Yeah. So I think medicine is a good field to get into because I think you're going to have job stability. So if I went back, I think I would still do something in that line of work. But, and I also think that you should get into something. Maybe these would be things that I tell our daughter one day if she listens. But like,
she doesn't listen now, but yeah.
Well, she's 3, so I don't think anybody listens when they're 3. But I also think not only do I think you should go into a career field, especially now that we're all the products of a pandemic, something that has staying power and is going to be around even if something like this happens again, which probably hopefully won't again in our lifetime. Yeah, but something with staying power. Because I like sure things. I don't like taking chances. Yeah. And something like medicine, that's a sure thing to me. It's always going to be around. People are always going to need you to cure them of their ailments. I also think it's good to get into something that there's some way that you could benefit from those skills personally. Like that's why I went into the field that I went into, because I was like, this knowledge
you can carry over
is going to benefit me. It could benefit you. It could benefit our daughter. That type of knowledge has a personal gain for me. I can use it in my own life as well as my job. I think that is something that's incredibly powerful. So something like even not medical, say, and also trade schools, I think are very underrated.
Yeah, no, I think that's a whole discussion.
So yeah. I don't know. Do you go to a trade school for being a mechanic? Yeah. Imagine being a mechanic. You don't necessarily need to go to a 4-year university for that. You can go to a trade school and I think depending on where you work and whatever, I'm sure you can make decent money. I have no idea what mechanics make. But like that also translates. And also people are always going to have cars. Yeah. That job has staying power too. But also in a personal sense, those skills you can use personally. You don't have to pay anybody to change your oil. You need to change out a tire. Don't have to call AAA. You know, you got a bad fucking Johnson rod in your hood. You can change it out yourself. Yeah. Seinfeld reference, anybody? I'm looking at the camera like it's on.
I know. Every time we do RAD, I'm like, hey, yeah. Oh no, that's not on.
But
maybe someday if this show gets popular enough, we'll make it video.
We'll see. Yeah, and maybe you'll get no makeup me. But like, I think that jobs that have skills and knowledge that you could use in your personal life, I think that's priceless. Mechanic, you can fix your own car. Doctor, you can diagnose yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
But if I had to go back and do it all over again with those things in mind, staying power and knowledge and skills I can apply on my own life to make things easier for myself, I think I'd go into nutrition or like a dietitian type thing, because I think that'd be very rewarding and also personally beneficial for me and my family, because there's a nutritionist on your side of the family. And I'm sure people always go to her. Yeah, like
we've gone to her for a couple of things too. It's like, exactly. Hey, is this like what we need to be doing?
Exactly. So that kind of knowledge I think is priceless. So I think I'd either be like nutritionist or a dietitian or something like that, or I think I'd go into like dermatology.
Wow, that's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Well, I mean, those aren't like
realistic. Yeah,
those are more like realistic things. But I think I would either go into. Because at one point I was seriously considering psychology. Abandon that ship. Yeah. I don't want to take home people's crazy with me. Yeah. We all got our own fucking baggage. Yeah. And I feel like that would just be so mentally taxing. But yeah, I feel like what did you think?
Well, we just talked about it. I thought I always think you missed your call to be in some way, shape, or form like a voice actor.
Yeah. But like, how do you do that with school? You don't.
I mean, you go like
acting.
Well, yeah, because I follow a couple of voice actors on TikTok, and they're like, and the one guy, I think you've seen me watch him. He does a really crazy Arnold impression, and like he actually does give tips about how to get into voice acting. It's like one of the top things is take acting classes. God, vocal coaches, and then like, and that's one thing that he's saying is like you don't have to go to especially nowadays with how technology is, you don't have to go to a studio now. Yeah. You can build a 4x3 in your house, soundproof it, and then you can work remotely. Yeah. Send over your tapes to your client. You can remote into their system, which is crazy to me. Yeah. It's like, whoa, that's crazy. But like, I actually do think you like a vocalist or and some people think of like, oh, voice actor like characters. Like, not all voice actors just do character work. They do commercials, audiobooks, voiceover narrations, and like, there's so much opportunity in that. That's something that like I always thought like, oh, I probably would have been good at that.
Well, the more realistic, practical answer I would give right now would probably be, like I said, dietitian or dermatology in some way, shape, or form. And then the like a little bit more far fetched, voice acting or some form of singing.
Like you said, you don't want to be like a singer,
but I don't want to be. Y'all ever seen Singing in the Rain? Yeah. When that really annoying girl is like the celebrity.
What's the big idea?
What's the big idea? And she's like the front person, the front man.
She's the face.
She's the face, the celebrity. But then Debbie Reynolds is in the background, backstage, singing.
She's so cute in that movie
she's
too.
Adorable. She's backstage singing, while the celebrity girl's on stage lip syncing to her voice. I want to be the girl in the back. I want to be the girl backstage singing. I don't need the fame. I don't need the glory.
You want to be
I just need the fucking money, baby.
You want to be Bruno Mars's backup dancer, just dancing and singing.
I would love to be a backup singer. I don't need to be the front runner. No thanks.
Ben Bateman, we got a backup singer for you.
He don't fucking listen to this. Yeah. But a backup singer, voice actor,
I think
something like that. I would love.
Really, because like there are sometimes when we've done a couple of voiceovers for me when I needed it, and like for a client, and they're like, "Hey, do you think we can hire somebody?" It's like, let me try something. Really quick.
I know a guy.
I know somebody. So then I had you voiceover for like it was like maybe a 2-minute part of a longer video, and they're like, "That was really good." It's like, good. I'm glad we didn't spend any money or time because I just had my wife do it.
Yes, thank you. I have a nice voice.
No, you do some pretty funny, like every time you do an impersonation of somebody, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty good. Armega.
Usually I need some kind of, if it's like an accent, I need a reference point.
Yeah. Well, that's really all voice acting is. It's like just
mimicry.
Yeah, mimicry.
Yeah.
I think you're really good at it too.
Man. If I could go back, if I could turn back time. That's my vocal resume right there.
No. You've sung for me twice intentionally. You've never really sung.
I sang one time for you in our old apartment, and I made you close your eyes so you wouldn't look at me because I find it very awkward.
I do find it awkward to look at somebody,
to make eye contact.
Yeah.
That's why I liked singing in a chorus. That's why I liked doing the anthem at sporting events, because I didn't have to fucking look at anybody.
Yeah, everybody's looking at the flag.
They're looking at the flag, and if I'm on stage, well, being on stage is great because you can't even see the audience half the time.
Yeah,
I don't want to make eye contact with you. That's weird. Like, no thanks. But yeah, we had a karaoke machine, and I sang a song for you. I made you close your eyes. And then you also, one time I happened to go back to my high school, and they were like, "Hey, since you're here, you want to do the anthem?"
It was for that one like
basketball game or something.
Like the graduate class, like a senior class was going up against like alumni or something.
I don't remember that much about it. All I remember is that we were back in my hometown. We went to my high school for some event, and they were like, "Hey, since you're here, you want to do the fucking anthem?" I was like, "Okay." So that happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, only a couple times.
Yeah, the only time I ever hear you sing is like you're singing a song in the other room, and I have to sit outside the door and sort of listen in,
or in the car. That's when I do my best work.
Yeah.
Huh.
The car's got some really good.
Love car.
Why do you think TikTokers do sit in their car most of the time? The acoustics in there are amazing.
Yeah.
There's like, it's padded, so like there's no reverb off of anything. So
we don't see more shower TikToks. No, that'd be harsh reverb.
Yeah, that's very tinny.
Yeah.
The whole point is to a lot of people, like that one guy I was telling you about, the voice actor, he's like, yeah, if you don't have to build anything, before he had this little like mini studio, he's like, you know where I did my voice recordings? In the closet. Sit in the closet with all the
that's true.
Clothes and the carpet. They all, and like he had pillows on top of his like where above the clothes, so to absorb all the reverb. It's like, that's smart.
Practical insulation. I almost said natural.
Practical.
Like it's nature. Practical insulation. That's smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, those would be the more far-fetched places I wish I could go to if I could turn back time.
I have no idea what I would do
if not for this.
If not for video. I don't know.
Well, that means that you found your calling.
Yeah, I've no, like, if like somebody's like, hey, if tomorrow like there's no need for videography,
professional Taekwondo instructor.
I could, but that changes.
Part of a Taekwondo demonstration team. No?
Not performing anymore. Like I can't just hop back into that. Like
instruction,
maybe. Even then, I'm so far from practice now that everything's changed. Yeah. So,
well, if you were in it, you'd keep up with those changes.
Yeah,
but yeah, blows my mind how many changes happen.
Oh yeah, no, like every year changes happen to,
which I think is kind of silly, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm
not a grandmaster in Korea, so I don't get a say. They haven't called me yet to consult me. So.
You have to test for your black belt. Like, it blows my mind. You got like what 2 steps away, and you're like, I'm good.
Okay,
like, come on,
right.
You're almost there.
Don't cuck me like that. I didn't go, I'm good. I got like 2 steps away or whatever.
And I think we just stopped going.
Well, because we had to drive all the way to Tampa every time we tested. And right around that time was when we had like, I think we probably had been graduated from college for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we were starting to get into like full-time jobs. And it just kind of just stopped happening. It wasn't like I didn't make the conscious decision like, no, I don't want it.
Because we stopped going to classes. We stopped practicing on regularly.
We started doing more,
grown up shit.
Yeah. Taking care of responsibilities, I guess. And just traveling all the way there.
Yeah.
Just to test became an afterthought. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day.
Maybe when we get the little one into classes, we'll pick up from there.
Get back into it. Find a school that'll let me pick up where I left off.
Yeah.
The best part about it is that back then, I was like in my early 20s, you know? Mm-hmm. If you test as a little bit older person, they're probably not going to have as high of standards because you're old. Right?
No, actually the reverse.
What?
No, whenever I tested my students, the younger students got passes. The older students, like, we were more strict because,
Well, I'm an old lady now. I can't. What if I throw my back out doing a back sweep? You don't want to make that happen to a little old lady like me. You got to give me a pass. Be like, It's okay.
I hope we do find a school that's close to what I'm used to. But it's been so long since we've been back in it.
Yeah.
So
might be difficult to find a place that meets your standards, but
I have very high standards. I have incredibly high. Like the only thing that I have more high standards for is video.
Yeah. I feel like I could look at the outside of a martial arts school and be like, nope.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's 8 out of 10 times that I look at a school and go, no.
Yeah.
If you have a remixed looking American flag, I'm already like, no, I'm good.
It's hard. I've said it a million times. Like the experience I had growing up in martial arts, you can't replicate it now. There's no way. There's no way to get away. Not one. I act like I got abused. I didn't get abused, but it's like
quote unquote.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, a little.
It was rough. It was like close to as
you got physically trained. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Like
with a kendo stick.
Yeah, you can't do that nowadays.
Probably not.
Because, fucking like Gen Zers be like, oh, no, it's too hard. It's like, well, how do you expect to get better?
Well,
like,
unless your parents sign
I can't kick as high anymore. I'm nowhere near as fast as I used to be. I pull my hamstring chasing my daughter around the house.
That's true.
But goddamn, is my technique still there?
Well, because it was.
It was, yeah.
Beaten into you.
Beaten into me.
Literally. Yeah. It'll be difficult to find. Let's just say that if I go to a martial arts school and I walk in and your head instructor's like, "Hi-de ho there, I'm Sensei Mike." I'm gonna be like, "Okay, have a nice day." Have a nice day. I'll see you later.
We shouldn't be too harsh because, like, we've met a handful of masters. Master Rick, I can't remember. Master Hain.
Oh, he
was real good. He was one of those, like, I hate to say rare, like diamonds in the rough.
He was karate, right?
No. He was Taekwondo. He was like a partner for the Taekwondo club at UCF, Master Hain.
Oh, no, I absolutely remember it, but I don't know why I thought he was karate.
No, he was Taekwondo. I actually taught at his class. I taught at his school.
I'm thinking of Godoin, I think.
Yeah.
Master Godoin.
Yeah. He was, I can't remember the actual discipline of karate he was, but
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I never met Master Godoin. No, I have met him. Never mind.
Yeah.
But like Master Hain, like I actually taught at his school for a hot minute because it was the closest to what I was used to.
He was real good.
I remember he did that, like the 100-minute, 100-man sparring challenge in Korea where you spar 100 people. Every minute somebody would cycle in. Oh my God. I was like, that's insane. Like that's the range this guy that went to. And it was very, very traditional.
I was never a big fan of sparring. But yeah. it's hard to find those types of instructors.
At that level, yeah.
Because a lot of them are just kind of like black belt factories. Like, yep, pay me and I'll give you black belt, bro.
It's like, no.
Like, no, that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And that was something my parents looked for too. That, like, I think they stopped at like 3 other schools before we finally settled on the school that we actually went to.
Yeah. It all depends on what you're in it for.
Yeah.
If you're in it just to feel cool, sure.
Yeah.
But if you're in it for other stuff.
Yeah. And I think a big selling point for when we went to was my mom's like, are you going to force us to do terms? Like, no, you don't have to do terms if you don't want to. Okay.
Because she was putting you in there for specific reasons.
Yeah.
Not to show off.
Not to compete.
Not to get medals. It was a much, different reason that she was putting you in.
Yeah.
So, and the same reason we'd put our daughter in, I think it's.
And my mom is so funny. She's like, just train her yourself. I'm like, that's I could.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. I could, but I need somebody else to coach her and to train her. Because if daddy trains her, she gonna hate me.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's gonna really hate me because I would train her the way I was trained.
Yeah. Well, there were some times that you would work with me on things and I was kind of like, okay, I'm done talking to you for a little bit.
Like I'm saying.
And that was when we were like dating. I'm like, okay, I think I need some alone time.
Yeah, the only thing that I have just as high standards for, the 2 things I have the highest standard for, martial arts and videography.
Yeah.
Those are 2 things that I will not like compromise on.
Yeah.
So it's like, it needs to be this way. Otherwise.
And also, I think you're just going to perform differently for somebody who's not your parent.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't want to do that. We'll find something.
I'm sorry for all those times I was mean to you.
We're still here, baby. It's okay. I still love you. There were just sometimes that I was like, I know I'm trying.
get up, do it again.
Okay, he never yelled at me like that because I would absolutely smacked him right in the face.
No, I was just very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Very particular.
Very particular of how I wanted to do something.
Very rigid in how, you wanted your technique to look.
Yeah, no, because like technique was like the stickler thing. I was always like, it needs to be, if you were 45 degrees off, you're doing it wrong.
It came from a good place.
Yeah.
There were just sometimes I was like, wow, well, I just kind of want to punch you instead of this pad. We need to get one of those pads, by the way.
The focus mitts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely do.
Oh, yeah.
Give the little one,
I do like the idea. Do like 5 minutes of a training session.
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
Get her primed and ready to go to a school. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think her issue is a lot while I was younger, of her attention span and her
high energy.
She's high energy. You can't get her to sit for 2 minutes unless it's on.
Depends on
what she's doing, but like get her to listen and follow directions for an hour would be a challenge.
Yeah,
right
she's
now.
Definitely your fucking daughter in that respect.
I mean, she's 3, so
yeah.
I didn't start until I was 5 or 6.
Okay.
So we'll see when she comes of age.
Yeah.
So because the requirement for when I was an instructor was, for parents, was like they need to be able to sit in that corner and watch class all the way through
before they can join. Yeah, right now she wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, no. And it was hard for some parents. Like, just put her in there. It's like, no, because if she can't, because you look at the rest of my students, so I say stop. They stop on a dime. If they can't do that, they're not ready.
Right. Well, I think that's a great philosophy to go by. And that's the mark of, that's just one little mark of a great school. Just a tiny detail like that.
Because I've been to schools where people would say the word for attention, like attention, and the entire, like our school, the instructor says attention, everybody stops.
Yeah.
I've been to schools where the instructors say attention, and then there's like kids bouncing off the walls. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, because our school is strict, like real strict with everything. So,
yeah, I miss those days. Those were good times. If only they weren't so far away. I miss
bowing when I'm entering my garage. I'm like, oh, no, I don't have to do that when I'm here.
Yeah. Bowing before you go onto the mat.
Yeah. Going into a grocery store and like bowing when the door opens. It's like, nope, not here, enter, not here.
Those are good times.
Yeah.
I just wish they weren't so far away, because then we could just bring her.
If I can convince, because you know who my favorite master was. If I can convince him to come out to Orlando, it would be over. It'd be over. We'd spend all our money there. Like, yep, let's do it.
Nice. So cool.
Yeah.
Man. She's already into K-pop.
We're halfway there.
So cute.
Oh my god. That's like, there are two things that I was like, I hope she really gets interested in. Is Star Wars. We're well on our way there for that.
Yeah.
And K-pop, it's like, oh, it's already there.
She was earlier today. She was bebopping around the house singing makeshift Korean, like making up what the sound sounded like to her. And I'm like, girl, you're kind of close.
Yeah.
Like,
there's one like from G. She'll say upsa. I'm like, wow,
that's a real word.
That's a real word. And then she says it on cue too. I'm like, oh,
so cute.
Awesome.
So cute.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to get a really good video of her doing it one day, because I just need that documented. But like you said, her attention span, she'll sing a couple words and then she's
off to the next song,
twirling around in one spot. Classic toddlers, man.
Yeah, man.
Toddler life is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll go ahead and end this episode here. Kind of had a pretty good conversations all over the place, but
it did kind of go. We covered a lot.
Yeah, we intended to talk about one thing. And
well, for an episode that started with, I don't know what he's going to talk about.
Yeah. That's the name of this game. So, well, Nikki, where can they find you online? Go ahead and end here.
Well, Andrew.
No. Oh, radio voice. So
they can find me
where can they find you?
On Twitter at Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
As for me, Twitter and Instagram, Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA, and on TikTok at Rogue Leader Drew. I'm about to hit 7,000.
Oh, boy.
I got a little while. I'm like at 6,300 right now. So got a ways away. Get me to 10,000 for celebration, people. That's a lofty goal. That's a lofty goal. I didn't think I was going to hit 5,000 for celebration, but
yeah, and here we are.
Put it out into the universe. Get me to 10,000.
Here we are. Look at me now, Mom.
If you're listening to us on audio form, please follow the feed and rate us.
And if you're listening or watching or whatever on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell icon in the lower right-hand corner and see when we do things on the YouTubes.
So, of course, every Monday beyond the Schmodown, and for the past couple of Wednesdays, our Road 2 celebration has been continuing. This week we had on Gold Leader himself, Evan Bushcar. That was a lot of fun to have him.
He's a cool guy.
Real fun. Even, wearing that stupid gold jacket.
It's hilarious.
But go back and watch some of the other episodes. There's been some really fun conversations with people.
Yeah.
So, So every Wednesday I've been leading up to Road 2 celebration. I think this coming week we're going to have on, I can't remember who I have on. I think it's another TikTok friend.
Oh, boy.
But so make sure to subscribe to be up to date on that. So thanks for joining us on this episode of the RADcast, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later.